Good afternoon, everybody. Michael here. So, yesterday, episode 12 of Love is Blind Season 10 dropped. And yes, I did watch it. Episode 11 left us on a cliffhanger with Emma and Mike's wedding, where Emma says yes, though she kind of went on one of those little cartoon map adventure things to get to saying yes. Now, we start off with Mike saying no, and the big hang up is kids. Emma's not 100% sure she wants to be a mom, whether that be, biologically or through adoption. I will say that I was very happy that they talked it over like adults after the wedding, because oftentimes on Love is Blind with stuff like this, like, you have someone run off and it's just a huge dramatic mess, but no one seemed angry. Like, both families were getting along. Emma and Mike got along, and maybe things change, maybe they don't, but I was really kind of happy that it was pretty drama free. They all acted like adults, and yeah, I was sad that a wedding didn't happen, but I wasn't super upset. Like, I wasn't even surprised either. Now, Amber and Jordan. So Jordan is a little bit nervous, mostly because it sounds like he wants to be closer to, like, the city with, like, nightlife and all that. And, okay, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here. First and foremost, Jordan is now married with a kid. Nightlife is out of the question. And then 2, he can suck it up Buttercup and move to Mount Vernon, even though he's like an hour away from the city. And I'm going to switch over. I'm going to see if this actually works. So, we used to have to drive from my hometown of Sidney, Nebraska. It's like in the little corner here. The nearest Target was Scotts Bluff. It's about an hour and a half drive. It's 80 miles. The next closest was Cheyenne at 100 miles. It also was an hour and a half, but you got to go faster on the interstate, and there were no small towns you had to stop and slow down to go through. Yeah, Jordan, if we could suck it up and drive an hour and a half to Target, you can suck it up and drive an hour to your sporting events. I have to drive an hour to my sporting events too, because the Huskers play in Lincoln and I live in Omaha. So, neener, pumpkin eater. All right. He did get to meet Emma like the day before, which I think is a little rushed, but it went well. They seem to get along, and they do eventually say yes. I still do have my qualms because it sounds like Jordan wants to go out and be on the town, even though he's a married man. Spoiler alert, my mom didn't like it when my dad did that, and I've got some stories about that. So Jordan, you really got to grow up fast, especially if you want this to last. And that's what I'll say on that. Brittany and Devontas. So it cuts to the venue where they're going to have the wedding, and then it cuts to them at their residence. Okay, Devontas, I've really grown to not like him. He's too cowardly to just admit that he doesn't want to be in this relationship, so he just lets it go on way too long. And honestly, this wedding is never ever going to happen, even though Brittany is like, oh yeah, we're going to get married. No, this is not happening. And I'm not a big fan of the way they talk about one another. Like, they're kind of jokingly from time to time like, oh yeah, I hate you. That's not how couples talk, all right? I don't know. I don't think that relationship should ever happen whatsoever. And then we get to the fun part of the episode, which is Alex and Ashley. Alex, in typical PR speak that he normally uses, relates it to soccer. He sounds just very emotionless, like a corporate PR response. And I really didn't want her to say yes at this. because it would have proven that she does have a bad picker, like her dad says. But yeah, every time Alex talks, like, I get a friggin' headache because it's just, like I said, it's corporate PR response. And the dude was talking like marriage is like a soccer game, and it's like, no, it's not. Just shut up. Oh my gosh, she took him to task, just with all the red flags, and she did not let him win whatsoever. I loved it. She just destroyed him on the altar, which is probably the best thing for him, because maybe it'll teach him a lesson that he never seemed to have grown accustomed to. And I will say this, after listening to Alex speak on and on and on, like a corporate PR response, I used to feel bad about his friends ditching him, but the way he talks, it's kind of insufferable, and it just drives me bonkers. And basically, she called him out, like, for the fuzzy timelines. Like, all he had to do was qualifiers and years, but he's like, do you want days? And it's like, no. And basically said that Alex wasn't here. Ashley basically said Alex wasn't here for the right reasons, and I totally agree with her analysis of the situation. There we go. And then Christine and Vic. I'm going to be honest. If this didn't happen, I'd be driving to Netflix HQ and protesting outside of Netflix HQ over this. Obviously, it's a yes. Season ends on a high note. And I want to talk a little bit about the way they talk about each other and compare that to, say, Alex and Ashley. Like, they talk very emotionally available. She says, like, he's her Build-A-Bear husband, you know, just this very poetic and intimate language. And the way they talk about each other is just, we knew it was going to happen. And it really shows that they do have a solid relationship. And if you compare that to the way, say, Alex and Ashley talk, Alex just very emotionless, very superficial, you know, kind of like the Brick Tamlin. I love desk. I love carpet. I love lamp. I love lamp scene from Anchorman. But, okay, back to Christine and Vic. Yeah, very happy with the way things went for them, and I wish them all the best. Okay, now I'm going to conclude on this aspect of it. First and foremost, Netflix really needs to start getting some new screening procedures stat for this show, because I feel like people like Chris and Alex and Devontae should have never been on the show. They definitely were not there for the right reasons. And yeah. And the reason why I say that is, so the creator of The Bachelor, Mike Fleiss, before he started The Bachelor, did the show about who wants to marry a millionaire. And there were some serious accusations. I can't remember off the top of my head. I just remember that the millionaire that they chose he's kind of a piece of crap. And so when they did The Bachelor, they had like a whole screening process when it came to medical history. They had like an FBI guy doing like background checks. And I really think Kinetic Content needs to adopt at least some of this going forward for the next few seasons, because I'm going to be honest, I'm getting tired of I want to see more Christine and Vic's and less Alex and Ashley's and less Chris's and less Devontae's on this show, to be honest. I think I'm going to wrap it up there because I think this is plenty long enough. But thanks for watching my Love is Blind episode 12 recap of season 10. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. And I will see you on the flip side. Peace.